Hey, Eric Music here. Welcome to the Subscription Box Show. And if you enjoy this podcast or it has even helped your business in any way, then I'd ask you to please consider supporting the show by visiting the subscriptionboxshow.locals.com. Any dollar amount would be a blessing to us. Thank you so much for considering. All right, so we are recording, Josh. So how you been, man? It's been a while since we last talked. I mean, I still follow your stuff on social to a certain degree. I'm trying to actually remove myself from social media more and more, but your stuff's always super entertaining. Are you still doing a lot on there?
Yeah, we're doing a ton on there. I mean, we're always like researching and changing our strategy and just figuring out what's the best. So I feel like every January we have like this like monster like new strategy based on everything we learned from the holidays and in 2021. So yeah, January is like let's take a pause after like crazy holiday season and figure our strategy out. So we got a ton of moving parts right now. We changed a bunch of things. I think last time we spoke, I was in a fulfillment center. Since then, we moved back into a warehouse, did everything ourselves. Now we're moving back into a 3PL. So it's just like we're constantly just moving and trying to figure out what's best for us.
No kidding. Tell me about that. So why did you originally choose maybe a fulfillment center, and then let's just get right into it then. Oh, maybe I should just introduce you first, everyone. This is, of course, Josh Band, the founder of Plate Crate. So maybe just tell us a little bit about your business, and then we'll get it back into what we were just talking about there.
Yeah, definitely. My name's Josh. I'm the owner of Plate Crate, monthly box baseball gear. Think like Birchbox for baseball. Yeah. Sorry, we're literally in the warehouse, so you might hear a dog or two bark because we love our office puppies.
All right, on cool.
So Plate Crate's a monthly box of baseball gear. There's gear, accessories, training aids. We do a lot of tutorials and different things for baseball players. So it's a younger demographic. We get a lot of like 10 to 14-year-olds that get the box for, a gift or to train or things like that. I don't know, since last time we spoke, we actually launched Soccer Crate. So we launched a different subscription box as well. So we launched Soccer Crate as a quarterly subscription for soccer players. Basically proving out the model of, that we had for baseball. And we wanted to see if it could work in other sports. So we launched that in November. That was like a huge pain in the ass to get off the ground with everything that happened with supply chain.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Right in the thick of Q4.
Everything shutting down. Yeah. So that was really tough, but so we're growing that as well. That's pretty much it. That was, we got Plate Crate, Soccer Crate. We have a private label company called Bandit Sports that goes into the soccer crates and the plate crates. We have a snack company called Stadium Snacks, which also goes into the plate crates and soccer crates. So we've just kind of brought everything in-house to have more control over it.
Yeah. So essentially those other companies, they're your suppliers to your boxes, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So like Bandit Sports, we, in the early days, we used to buy wholesale, and I would really just like beg for price for like a percentage off. So they're like, it's 50% off wholesale. I'm like, 35%, please. Like, these are all the different reasons that you could make that work. And after a while, it just made way more sense to do it ourselves. So we saved a bunch of money. We had more control over the product. We had more consistent boxes, and all around it was just a much better decision for us. But so we created Bandit Sports. We recently did a rebrand like 6 months ago, just to make everything look a little bit better. That goes into all the plate crates, all the soccer crates. And then once we kind of built that company, we had all this extra inventory. So we're going to start selling on Amazon. We're going to start doing D2C, and we have a little bit of a wholesale business that we're starting with Bandit Sports as well. So kind of have these other things that just kind of split off from what we started doing.
Is that maybe a challenge sometimes having your own brand though? Because especially like in baseball, like maybe the kids are looking at what the pros are wearing and they're wearing a certain brand, and now you're trying to introduce them to Bandit Sports, or is it just completely doesn't matter because Bandit Sports is more for like training gear versus actually like gloves and bats and sort of that kind of thing?
Yeah, so the stuff that we produce is more commoditized. So it's training. It's a lot of like training balls. It's a lot of training gear, things like that. We're not doing batting gloves where we have to deal with a million sizes and SKUs. We're not trying to make the absolute best baseball bat or baseball glove. We're like, we want to really own, the training market, have a reasonably priced, great value product, and just kind of position ourselves with great marketing and great branding behind it. Because most people have access to the stuff that we're creating, but we really dive deep into creating content around it, making sure that everything is branded correctly, and putting a lot of care and attention into the things that we can control. So, if you're deciding between, a Rawlings ball or a Bandit Sports ball, the Bandit Sports ball just has a lot more kind of attention behind it, in my opinion. So it's just more commoditized. So we're trying to get in the hands of more, more people through wholesale and through Amazon, and we have access to manufacturing for it. So we might as well and go down that route and learn how to create kind of like a different subsidiary company.
Cool. So going back to the 3PL stuff, so it looks like you're in your warehouse. Like obviously you got the cool warehouse look with the bike. Is it actually warm enough? Or you're still in Boston, right? Is it?
Yeah, I'm freezing right now.
I was gonna say, is it still warm enough in Boston to ride your bike to work?
No, this bike has been in here since the summer. Oh. Just like I live in a condo, and if I put my bikes in our storage unit, they get a little rusty. So
there you go.
and I like looking at it. I like getting out and riding my bike. So in the summer, I'll take a call and I'll do laps around like the facility to get a little exercise in while I do calls. But yeah, like our warehouse is really cool. So basically, the story of fulfillment was we did our own stuff for forever. So we were packing boxes, we were getting kids to pack, and it's just a ton of just labor. It's really, really time intensive. It's such a big part of your business. And then when you get to a certain point, again, it's commoditized. There's people who can do it better than you. They can do it more economically than you. And they can do it at a different part of the country than you too, which is huge for shipping. So, we're just north of Boston. We're literally on the ocean, on like our warehouse is on the ocean in Peabody, Massachusetts. So we're like in the worst possible place in the whole country other than like Maine to ship for us, because most of our customers are in Texas and California. So
really, that's weird. Yeah.
From a finance perspective, when we ran the numbers, number one, you can get volume discounting with the 3PL. So they saved us about $1 per box on shipping. So obviously if we send out, 100,000 boxes this year, it saves us $100,000 right off the bat, just from that shipping discount.
Yep.
And then from a shipping logistics perspective, we have a lot of zone 7, zone 8s, which are really kind of skewing our numbers. And it's taking not only a long time to get there, which is a strain on customer service, but it's also way more expensive for us to ship to California. So just being in the middle of the country instantly reduces our shipping, instantly reduces time to customer, ups customer service. It's just much better. No matter what, it's better for the customer because they can get the crates much quicker.
Yeah.
But for us, it saves us money, and we don't have to do it ourselves, which is like a Herculean task to do all the warehouse stuff. So we basically came to the decision, do we have such amazing operations and in-house fulfillment where we could sell that to another company because we have such operational excellence? And the answer is pretty much no. It's like we make it work. We make it happen. Like if you get a plate crate, your box ships out within 24 hours. And that's really, really difficult. We spend a lot of time figuring out how to get things out. And at a certain point, it's just something that's commoditized. So, the first time I went to a 3PL, I like Googled 3PL, and like I interviewed like 2 or 3 companies and I went with one. And that was a huge mistake. So this time I did a ton of due diligence. I got like 35 quotes.
Wow.
I got referrals. It was kind of a learning process too. Yeah. I was like, what do fulfillment companies look like? Like what's the shipping? What are the different levers that I can pull?
Yeah.
We're doing a lot more freight shipping from China now with our manufacturing. So, can they take 10% off of this? And then maybe if they're kidding, is 10% higher, it kind of evens out. So just ran a ton of numbers on that, found a couple 3PLs that I thought were really, really great. They weren't the cheapest and they weren't the most expensive. They were kind of middle of the road in pricing and just excellent customer service. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great fit. Again, we've been in this warehouse for I think 8 months, and it took forever to move in, like so many hours, so many people. And I made the decision in November. One of my mentors was like, you got to go back to 3PL. It makes no sense that you're doing it yourself. Just from a bandwidth standpoint, I was spending too much time getting boxes out the door when I should have been spending my time on growth, on bigger long-term partnerships, finding new acquisition channels, networking, and my time was like, shit, we don't have enough people here. I got to go pack a box right now. And so I was in the warehouse just constantly, which is tough. I have a 1-year-old at home, and I'd be in the office.
Congrats.
Thank you. That's another big change.
Yeah. Boy,
like
girl?
A boy.
All right.
A boy. So yeah, he's 1.5 now, but that's been a massive change too with just honestly prioritization of my time in the business. And obviously making money is important, but I want to make sure that I freed up a lot of bandwidth so I could spend more time with my family and focus on big drivers of growth and not kind of incremental things. And anytime I'm in the warehouse actually packing boxes, which you do have to do sometimes, obviously any person does. I just thought it was a much better decision to go to 3PL. But yeah, I really vetted a lot of 3PLs. I talked to a lot of people. I really weighed my options. Some people that I really, really admire. Actually, I think you had John Roman on from BattleBox, right?
Yeah. I'm actually going to be doing this like kind of like part 2 with him on Friday. This Friday, we're doing the recording.
Yeah.
With him.
So like I've become pretty close with John just because
the suit.
He's an amazing. Yeah, I saw that. Actually, I saw that. I saw him in a suit. I was like, that's so different for him. I was like, I've never seen him like in a suit before.
I think he has like one suit. That's the joke. So we call him like literally. I call him like the suit. That's his name, John the Suit Roman. Next time, call him that.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Like he is just such a great marketer.
He's a beauty.
He's so smart. Yeah. And so I love talking to John. He gives me really great advice. We really swap like a lot of tools and ideas. We use a lot of the same agencies too. So that's kind of how I got introduced to him, was through our paid media agency. But yeah, like John does everything in-house for BattleBox. So he was like, you can do it yourself. You can make it work, like all this stuff. You do save a lot of money doing it yourself. But so I just, point being, like, I really, really talked to a lot of people about whether a 3PL was the right decision again. And it was pretty much like our roadmap in our growth. It just, at a certain scale, it just definitely makes sense to go to 3PL for us. But yeah, that was kind of the decision. So I'm excited about it. I'm nervous about it because we've had issues in the past with 3PLs. And it's just kind of a nonstop learning process, trying to get it work and getting the economics of it to make it work. So I think we have a winner, but right now we got to focus on packing up an entire warehouse and shipping it to Dallas. So,
oh my goodness. So I got a couple of follow-up questions, but before that, the new ad spots, the way they work, I'm just going to kind of just throw out right now. Like, we're going to thank SUBTA for doing this, for sponsoring the show. So I think actually talking to you, I don't know if you've ever contacted the SUBTA team. So this episode is sponsored by SUBTA, guys. So go out and check out subta.com. And I don't know if you've ever talked to the guys at SUBTA, but I think you'd be a great fit for one of their sub summits, talks or whatever. Have you ever talked to them before?
I haven't talked to him. I know, again, I mean, to bring up John, I know John's close with the founder.
Yeah, he does a lot there.
I wanted to go last year and we had the baby. So that kind of took precedent over the subscription box conference. But I mean, I'm definitely going to be at the next SUBTA one. Everyone I've talked to absolutely loves SUBTA, for resources, for networking, for everything. So I'll be there next time.
All of the above. Yeah, for sure. I think they're a great fit for most subscription brands to at least connect with. So maybe I'll have to send an intro, because I'm going to be talking to them next Friday. They're 3 founders, right? You got Chris, Paul, and John. And Chris and Paul are going to be coming on to do. We've done some stuff with them before on the show, but anyways, they're coming back. So guys, if you have heard about Sub Summit or SUBTA, go check that out. SUBTA.com or subsummit.com, and book your tickets right now, because it's in Florida, June. I want to say 2nd to 4th. I should know that by heart, but it's basically Disney World. So make it. I know guys like Liam Brennan from Buster Box. He's a good friend of mine from Ireland. I don't know if you've connected with Liam before. He's a beauty too, and he's going to be taking it as a kind of like, Ireland, not as cold as Canada, but their winters aren't great, so he's going to use it as a point to make a sunny vacation for him as well and his family. So cool. So let's get back into the 3PL stuff. So just a 2-part question on that. I guess the first part would be like, was the first when you were with a 3PL and you went back to your warehouse, was that more of like an ego thing, or was that just bad advice from people, or what was behind that? Just maybe there was like a vision of like doing it all myself kind of thing.
No, it was like the main driver was I didn't like the 3PL that we were with for a couple different reasons. I didn't have trust in them. They made a couple like crucial mistakes, and then we just never saw economies of scale with them. And I kept asking, like, you got to get shipping down, or I have to leave. So
down as it, you mean down like in price?
Yeah, down in price. Like we grew like 3-4 times what we were when we started there. Like, by no means are we this massive subscription box company, but like we did grow, and I expected to see those economies of scale.
Yeah.
And those were promised to me, like when I started with them, that we'd start to see price go down and shipping go down. So there was some transparency issues. So I had big trust issues, which you never want when you're dealing with like a very true partner that like has so much control over your business.
Yeah.
And the other decision was just pure economics. Like, it was just way too expensive. So they take a margin on stuff like that. They make money. They're a company. They should make money. So, but they were taking too much of a percentage of what we were doing. And shipping was, we basically negotiated shipping rates down about $2 under what they were getting us. And they're just like multi-$100 million company. And I was like, I can, there's no way I should be able to beat you by negotiating my own shipping prices. That makes no sense.
Crazy.
So, yeah. So we negotiated shipping rates locally, with DHL, with FedEx, SmartPost. And I was like, I can just based on shipping alone, we can save a ton of money. So, the other part of that was content. So actually I hired a full-time videographer, in the summer. Just, we do a lot on social media, and, we got to the point where, we wanted to make lots and lots of consistent content. We wanted to do branded content. We wanted to do viral content. We wanted to do a lot of tutorials to get people to use the stuff in the crates. And, our end user is a baseball player, is a kid. So we wanted to make a lot of baseball content. So yeah, we hired the videographer, and I was like, we were in a small office, so we can't create content here. So, the warehouse was also really great for behind the scenes. It was great. We have a photo studio here. We put up a batting cage. We do, tips and tricks. It was absolutely fantastic for content creation. And I think that helps us build a lot of trust with customers. Like, we're not this like big corporation where there's a bunch of people in suits. It's like, we're in the warehouse. We love baseball. We're hitting in the cage. Yeah. We bring them kind of like on our day-to-day journey. They know that the puppy's in the office and when they're getting crates. And I think that really helps people buy into what we're doing and help them develop a relationship with our company, if they're a fan of it. And hopefully that makes them, refer us to friends or teammates, and helps them stay longer because, they want to support what we're doing here. So that was a huge upside too. And that honestly had a lot to do with it. But yeah, like the number one reason was we just saved like $2 per box on shipping right away. And that cost savings allowed me to hire our videographer. Crazy, and allowed me to hire another development agency. So I hired pretty much two full-time people with the cost savings from that shipping. And that helped us really grow. And now that we grew since then, it kind of just makes sense to go back to a 3PL. So, yeah, I mean, we've moved 6 times in 6 years. So,
crazy. Yeah,
like not what you want at all. Like I wouldn't recommend it.
You learn
it. Yeah, we moved 6. We're learning. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you learn and move on. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just quickly, maybe plug your social media accounts. I know I follow you on, when I am on Instagram, like a lot of your stuff there was I think my favorite, I don't know if it was fall or summer, was when you're imitating like different style of players there are out there. Yeah. Is that pretty popular series there? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have, our Instagram is @PlateCrate. We don't take it too seriously. Like
it's great.
We don't sell medical supplies. Like, we sell baseball stuff. Like, you should come to our page and just be happy. And with social media, we just want to create a community for people to see really cool content, to learn, to just like be part of this like baseball nerd community. And that's been the goal since day one. We don't take ourselves too seriously. I hop in front of the camera all the time, make a fool of myself. Like, we're not really afraid to like look bad, I guess. As you can see, our videographer, Jesse, he hops in front of the camera all the time. He's definitely not scared of looking bad because he looks like a crazy person sometimes. But yeah, we want it to be fun, and we want to show off, our personalities. So,
no, what you do, it's amazing.
There.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Go to Vig Glitch here. Yeah. So guys, if you're a baseball fan or you know someone who has played crates, it's a great follow. It's hilarious. It's hilarious stuff for sure. And Josh used to play pro baseball as well. So, I mean, you're getting it from someone who's actually got paid to play the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty much like the whole thing. Like I was like the baseball nerd. Like, it was my life. I grew up, my first job was in a batting cage. I literally lived in a batting cage for a year, while I was playing indie ball. So I would, walk downstairs at midnight, hit off the tee. And it was just like my whole life. I couldn't really think of anything outside. And then I realized, I was 5'8" and never going to make it to the MLB. So I was like, I should start e-commerce, like an e-commerce store. but yeah, like I really deeply understand like what a 14-year-old baseball player who's obsessed with baseball. I know what they're thinking. I know what they want. You know,
Mm.
I've worked with them. I've been a coach for a long time. So I'm very, very, very involved in like in kind of like the zeitgeist of baseball, like at all times. So that's pretty easy for me. With Soccer Crate, it's the complete opposite. I don't know anything about soccer. I've never, you know, I played soccer when I was like 12. So soccer was really a kind of a test of, you know, is our model solid? Is our marketing strategy solid? You know, I can always jump in front of the camera and do bat tricks and glove tricks and talk to baseball players very authentically. But for soccer, I really can't do that. So soccer was just kind of a much bigger test of the model and of our, you know, what we think is going to work with PlayCrate. And what we're learning is some of the stuff works, some of it doesn't. It's a completely new audience. You have to talk to them completely different. We have a different pricing structure, a little bit different model. So I was basically like, if I could start PlayCrate from scratch, would I do it the same way?
Mm.
And so I launched Soccer Crate just as quarterly. It's a higher price point. It's $75 a quarter. You're guaranteed to get over $100 worth of stuff. Our first crate was worth like $150 MSRP. So it's a little bit higher price point. You get a lot more stuff. Because the toughest thing with PlayCrate is like, how much baseball gear do you really need? Like at the end of the day, it's like if you're getting a box just loaded with baseball stuff, that's like a really tough, you know, thing to get over for a customer. So we want to do less gear but more quality gear with Soccer Crate and a little bit higher price. And that has its pros and cons too, which is what we've learned. You know what I mean? You get less customers because it's a higher price point. So, but you know, they have a higher AOV and hopefully a higher LTV. So yeah, it's a learning experience. So we're going to take the learnings from Soccer Crate, apply them to PlayCrate, take the learnings from PlayCrate and apply them to Soccer Crate. And I mean, the goal is to just learn as much as possible. And, you know, once we get to a certain level with Soccer Crate, we'll probably launch another sports company too.
Well, if you ever need, I'm always looking for a hockey crate, like, because I'm a Canadian.
Yeah.
I love hockey. Like, you know, the way you were presenting yourself as like, you know, the 14, like baseball obsessed nerd. I'm a hockey nerd, right? Like I know everything my boys are. We have 4 sons and a daughter now as well, since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, I've like a full team.
Yeah, we've got a full line. Yeah, the boys were like, yeah, the sister, the youngest sister, she's gonna go in net. That's, but like the hockey crate. If ever you need some help on that one, I'd love to help. And Boston's a big hockey town, anyways. I mean, you guys with the Bruins and stuff, like it's huge hockey town.
Is massive here.
Yeah, for sure.
So actually, like the we were originally going to do hockey before soccer. I thought soccer just had a bigger market, so we actually
for sure.
We're doing a lot more international shipping with soccer than with baseball. But hockey, there's a lot of training aids. There's a lot of tape. There's a lot of like different things like with baseball. For soccer, it's like you need a ball, and like that's pretty much it. So people are like, "How are you doing a soccer crate?" And I was like, "It's difficult, but we only have to source 4 boxes a year. PlayCrate, we have to source 12 boxes a year. It's like once we figure out how to finally get a crate together, it's like we're on to the next month, and it's just like a never-ending battle to get like great products in the box that we love and believe in. In Soccer Crate, it's a lot of like speed and training things. There's like like goals and nets and really fun stuff that isn't just for the soccer field, but you know, you can use at home. You can have fun. Yeah. Just like having fun around soccer. It doesn't have to be like this ultra competitive thing all the time.
Yeah, and you guys have been around long enough now. Like you know, you've got to get a grasp on your LTV and stuff. I'd be curious to ask you, like, let's say you know your LTV is 18 months or 12, whatever it would be, right? You don't have to give me the number, but like, do you kind of like, okay, you know it's going to be this amount, you know, there's not really that many, or maybe there's customers that are on from the beginning. Is there times where you kind of like recycle this stuff? And when would you think of doing that is a good time for like people who do have a monthly that have a hard time maybe curating? Because yours, I could imagine, is the same thing, right? Like, okay, we got 12 good boxes and then we'd like to reintroduce it on month 13 or when it restarts. Yeah. But that's like, what if they're still on? They're going to get the same stuff again, right?
Yeah, you're like spot on. Pretty much every 16 months, we start taking like our best performers and putting them back in the box. So we've done so many different items that we think are going to go great, or, you know, we'll have an issue like something is a really great product and it fits our pricing, but by the time it gets here, it was just really heavy. So like the cost of shipping just skyrocketed the price of the product. So I'm like, we can't do that product anymore. But we're also inventing a couple products because there's just only so many products out there. So
Cool.
we started paying for more tooling. We started paying for molds. We started just kind of putting our spin on some common items. So we have like this like cool ball. It's like an easy curve ball. It's got these little notches in it. So you throw it and it's foam and it just moves in all these directions. It's really, really fun. And so we just like shrunk it down. We're like, let's just make it a miniature ball.
Cool.
So it's just harder to hit. We can put more in the box. So we're doing like little spins on things like that. So we're just kind of like creating like a small brand of like training aids that no one else has, which I think gives us a competitive advantage because we don't sell it to anywhere else right now. Like you can't get it in stores. So if someone really likes one of our products that we put our own, take on, the only place they can buy it is playcrate.com. So, so we're looking to invent and pay for tooling and use that as kind of like a blocking strategy, and also to just come out with more. If we can't find great gear to put in the box, we're gonna invent some stuff. So
make it.
Yeah, we're just gonna make it. And that was kind of done out of pure necessity. We're like, how do we get more cool things in the box? Like, there's only so much stuff. But yeah, like we have some customers that they'll get they'll get the same ball pack like 60 months later, and they're like, this is fine. Like I lost those balls like 10 months ago.
Exactly. So that's what I was gonna say. Or it's broken or whatever. Like they're gone, right? It's time for a new one, anyways.
Yeah. Like it's not really consumable products, but you can always use more baseballs. You can always use more like you can always use another like 6-pack of training balls. Like it's so we haven't really heard anyone complain about that. And then the other way that we kind of stay ahead is we have different themes every month. So every month you get some type of apparel. So sometimes it's like a hoodie or a long sleeve shirt, a tank top, a short sleeve shirt. So we can there's infinite amounts of designs and things that we can do with that. So I have like,
is it mostly Plate Crate stuff, or is it Bandits? Is it the Bandits stuff that you guys kind of?
Yeah, the themes are Plate Crate, and then all the training aids are Bandit, and then all the snacks are Stadium Snacks. So each month is a different theme, so we can kind of like, you'll never get the same theme ever. So you'll never get the same box, but you might get the one training aid in your box 16 months later. That's the same. That's pretty much it. So we do recycle some stuff every once in a while, but for snacks, we don't really repeat snacks at all. So there's always variety. I mean, that's kind of how we made it happen. With the training aids, you like at a certain point you have to recycle them, but everything else is really fresh, and we want to keep it fresh.
With the clothing stuff, like I love that idea, like to brand your own stuff, and I think everyone like immediately is like, oh, I'd like love to like have people wear my shirts with like a subscription box name on it or whatever. I guess how do you deal with like the sizing problems? Is it something they do upon when they sign up, and then if they, let's say they're a medium, so I'm just under 5'10", I'm pretty slim, but some shirts, some brands I'm a medium, others it's large, and there's no way of knowing unless I try it on, right? So is there lots of like, do you guys returns? How did you guys figure out the sizing stuff?
Yeah, sizing. I mean,
or is it just like the beer shirt where everyone just has the same extra large t-shirt?
No. So when you sign up for a Plate Crate, you have to put in your t-shirt size. It won't let you order a Plate Crate without your t-shirt size. We also collect your position. So we can do a lot of different things by collecting people's positions, retargeting them with different emails based on their position, working with other like brand partners. So, you know what I mean?
The catcher has
so they know exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then if we can, the goal is to make, an infield one, a catcher one, a pitcher one. So everyone has like a little bit individualized crate,
nice,
which we're still working on. It's like, it just adds another layer of like logistics. That's really difficult. But for shirt sizing, our shirts, we've heard that our shirts run small, and we're fixing that. So we're basically like creating our shirts from scratch again. So with our manufacturer, we basically bought shirts that we liked off Amazon. We tested out the material. We looked at what sizing that was like the most consistent. We sent all those samples to China. They measured absolutely everything. They cut like, they had all the measurements for us. They source all the fabric and they make it from scratch.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a process, but once they have that, once they have the sizing, you can just rinse and repeat for different types of clothing. But I mean, like anything else, we get customer feedback, and we're always trying to make the shirts better at pretty much and keep the cost down. So what's like the absolute best possible shirt that we could possibly do and at this budget. And then we're always like pushing and pulling to try to make it better. But yeah, people, I mean, we're selling to kids. So kids' shirt size changes like every couple months.
Yeah, no doubt.
So they can just go on, I mean, they can go on the back end of their account and just change their t-shirt size. It's really not that big of an issue. They'll call us for customer service and they'll be like, this shirt doesn't fit. We'll send you out a new shirt in like 2 seconds for free. Like I'm not going to lose a customer over a t-shirt.
A t-shirt. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, for us, like, I mean, customer service is everything. We're a customer service company. Like, if a shirt doesn't fit, you're going to get a free shirt. If something came broken, we're going to send it out for free.
That's right.
If you're a customer for a long time, we're going to make sure that you're well taken care of. Just because we just can't, like, there's two sides of it. One, we just can't afford to lose any customers over bad customer service. That's like 100% in our control. Yeah. And the other part is like, just for referrals, like, if you have a company and you like them, you might tell a friend, but if you have a company and they messed up and they really took care of you and they're not going to add any stress to your life, if you needed a refund or it just takes like that, this huge mental weight off of the purchase process, knowing that someone has amazing customer service. So, for referrals, it's just so important that you have great customer service. So, and like, even when people have not a great experience with us, which happens, we find out that those end up being our best customers because they know our names, they've dealt with us, they know that if anything happens,
it's an opportunity to
get a refund. It's a great opportunity to build that relationship, and we actually find those are our best refers, those are our best reviews. It's people who actually have had bad experiences that we fix, not just people who get a crate every month that we never talk to.
Yeah, and often the people that are willing to write in and talk about their complaint or whatever, what the situation they have, are also the same people that are willing to talk to their friends. I find too. I think that's kind of like just the type of persons they are. Like if you handle the situation correctly, right? It's a great, like, it is an opportunity for sure. You mentioned I don't want to beat the 3PL thing, but now that I kind of know more about your, first of all, what do you guys use for? You guys have a Shopify? What's your tech there that you guys use to?
Yeah, we're on Shopify.
And Recharge,
so we were on Shopify for like years. Yeah, Shopify and Recharge.
Okay.
For Soccer Crate and Play Crate.
Okay. No, the only reason I'm asking is like for the 3PL stuff, is it something with so much customization? Is that something difficult to put the trust in the hands of the 3PL? Now it's like, listen, there's a lot going on here. There's like a different, I don't know if it's in Canada, we say back catcher. I don't know if it's what do you guys call it there? Is that what it's called? I have no idea what that means. Back catcher? That's like the guy who catches in baseball Canada calls the person who catches the ball the back catcher. What do you guys call it?
A catcher, just a catcher.
Oh.
Just like a catcher, like a catcher behind a plate.
Yeah,
a catcher.
It's funny because
they're in the back. There's no front.
I know. I was saying this story once. I don't know who it was. It was on this podcast, and they're laughing like, "You're from Canada." I'm like, "How did you know?" You're like, "You said back catcher." And I forget what they called it, but maybe it was just catcher. But they're laughing because they're like, they had a cousin or somebody they knew up north that they called it the same thing, and they're like, you guys are weird that way. Anyways, like, so for the 3PL stuff, is it something where it's like, okay, there's gonna be these different positions, different shirt sizes? Is it something that, is that even an issue with 3PLs, or they're so dialed in now that it's no problem?
They're super dialed in. Like they have a very well-known software that just plugs right. Shopify just makes everything easy. Everything plugs right into Shopify. Like Shopify pushes orders out. So some company or some websites push, sometimes they pull, but I think Shopify just pushes orders out. Yep. And as long as the information comes back to Shopify, like order goes out, 3PL gets that order the same way that we would receive it in our warehouse, because we're using a third-party software as well. I'm not worried about it at all. It just Shopify just makes like integrations just so much easier than any other like e-commerce website tool. Like I don't know how anyone is using a different tool other than Shopify. And this isn't a promotion for Shopify.
This episode is not sponsored by Shopify.
Yeah, they're doing fine without me giving them a plug. But yeah, like I wasn't on Shopify for years. And once we moved to Shopify, it's just much easier to get data, to get information, to integrate with other companies. So long story short, I'm not really worried about that at all. They just get an order and they fulfill the order.
And did I hear earlier correctly? You guys ship. So like, if I order a Play Crate, it gets shipped the next day. So that means you guys do immediate shipping. You guys don't do batch shipping. Is that something else that's more challenging with the fulfillment center, because they always have to have like people on hand to tend to your boxes?
Yeah, but they do, like, they all ship out. The ones that I spoke with, they ship out within 24 hours of receiving an order. During business days. So, I mean, we don't ship on Saturday, Sunday right now, but every Monday we clear the queue. Tuesday we clear the queue. So we
Hmm.
say that we ship within 2 to 3 business days, just to give us a little bit of wiggle room and to just surprise them, to delight the customer. So, like, if you placed an order at 10 a.m. today, like, your order already went out today. It got fulfilled within an hour.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's crazy.
because that's what our post office picks up at like noon and 4. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's something that we can control. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, but it's just like a customer experience. Like, we have no room for error when dealing with their customers. So when they talk about their experience, or they think about their experience, like, uh, if you're going back on through your finances, you're like, what's the first thing to go? It's like, oh, the $55 plate crate mystery baseball box is
yeah,
like the first thing you're going to
yeah,
cross off your budget
yeah,
list.
for sure.
So we just don't have room, any room for error. And that's something we can control. If we can control it, we want it to be first class, and we want to make sure that they have a great experience. So if we say 2 to 3 days, yeah, like once in a while someone will call out sick, which is another thing, another reason we're going to 3PL. Like, if one person calls out sick, that's going to affect someone's order. If operations person has to go to CarMax again to fix his car, like, an order
Calling out
gets
the guy
delayed.
in the
But
corner there.
he's right next to me. He knows.
Mm,
But we have more control with 3PL because they have a lot more volume. They have a lot of clients. Like, they always have 20 or 30 people there. So
yeah,
one person calling out doesn't really affect them. For us, we're just doing it in house and smaller. So um, it just gives us even more control, that we can guarantee that your crate is going to go out in 24 hours, and we can take off that 2 to 3 business day thing, and just say, within 24 hours your order is going to go out. And again, it's a nudge. It's another selling point where someone's like, my kid's birthday is in like 2 days. I don't know if it's going to get here in time. And they say it
right.
ships within 24 hours and it gets there 2 to 3 business days.
Yeah,
We're just going to gain a few more customers and have a better experience that way. So
yeah. It hurts my head to even think on immediate shipping, because I'm just trying to think of, like, because we do batch shipping, and it's a
yep.
lot easier to set up like your email flows with that. Billings on the 1st, ships out on the 10th. Our emails, so everyone. So you have like I guess your email flows have to be all kind of set up so that whoever orders on a specific date, I guess, it just kind of hurts my brain to think about the logistics of your stuff.
Yeah, we do. It's not that complicated at all. It's
Okay.
actually, I think we do it. I think the way that we do billing, I've never heard any other company do billing the same way we do, but there's a couple specific reasons we did it. Um, so we don't have cutoff dates. Most subscription boxes are like the 20th is the cutoff date, order before then to get the next month's crate. So
Right.
you basically, if you're a new customer and you order on like the 15th of the month, you're not going to get your first crate shipped until like the first of the following month, right? So you have to wait
Yeah.
like 2 weeks
Yeah.
to get your first
Yeah.
crate, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want anyone to wait 2 weeks to get their first crate with us. I don't think that's a great experience at all, especially in 2022. So basically, like, the way that it works for us is we have two billing dates. We have the first and the 15th. So
Okay.
no matter what, if you're a new customer, if you order today, your box again goes out within 24 hours. We ship it priority, so we spend a lot more money on shipping, so it gets there in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
And then the following month, you're either going to fall on the first or the 15th. So
Gotcha.
if
Then
you
it
ordered,
goes. Okay.
yeah, so if you order today, it's February 8th. Your first box goes out right away, and then since you ordered before the 15th of the month, your next box is going to be charged on March 1st. So there's actually only like 2.5 weeks between your boxes. So we shrunk the time that you get your second box, which helps us get decrease churn. Because if you're shipping a box in 6 weeks, you're giving people a lot more time to churn. But we're only giving people 2 to 3 weeks to churn. We haven't had any issues with that ever. It's like crazy. We have had people where they're like, it's been 6 weeks and I've only gotten one crate, and that's their perception of it. But so we shrunk the time between their crates,
Yeah.
between their first and second crate, which reduces churn. And then the other reason we did it is we get an extra billing date than everyone else throughout the year. So if you order on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which is the end of November, your
Yeah.
next charge date is December 15th, not January 1st for most people. So we have an extra charge date in the year that no one else has. So we can consolidate more revenue into a year by one charge date, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we're recharging our Black Friday, Cyber Monday orders.
Yeah.
So we're getting a second bill date in 3 weeks. instead of waiting to the first and giving that to the next year's, gross number. That's pretty much it. Like it was solely predicated on customer experience.
Right. But let's say someone orders on the 31st. They don't get charged again on the 1st.
No, so they're in the 15th. So if you order after the 15th,
okay, so there's the 3 things
you're in the 15th month. Yeah. So if you ordered on, January 20th, your next box would be charged on February 15th.
Okay, I see. So that's smart. I like it. It's a little more to kind of like, especially if someone's starting out, if you're just alone. I mean, it could be a little more work, but I think I see your point. It's a lot more. So we do the batch shipping, and I get it. Like if someone orders on the 11th, the day after the last day, the 10th, someone orders on the 11th, it's a long time to wait again it's basically a month. You're waiting a full month plus.
Yeah.
But what we do is we do send like an actual letter in the mail. If we have the free box offer, we ship that right away. So they get something in between. If not, if it's a different offer, then we're going to send them like a handwritten note with like a welcome card and stuff. With sometimes there's a free gift in there or whatever, but something to give them. But we do send them no matter what, something. We don't let them wait on top of the emails they get. But open rates aren't always the greatest, especially if it's a new thing. But yeah, I mean, I love what you guys are doing there. That's very smart. Okay, let's move over to. So just curious, first of all, do you ship in Canada and the States? Obviously the States, but do you ship in Canada?
We're just going to start shipping to Canada with PlayCrate actually in the next month. So the reason we weren't shipping to Canada before was we do a lot of prepaid subscriptions. So, you get pricing discounts. I said $55 for a PlayCrate. That's if you get a PlayCrate every month and you get charged every month. If you buy three months of PlayCrates at once, it comes out to $45 a box. So there's significant price savings if you prepay. But that was really difficult with shipping to Canada because we could charge you shipping on your first order and everything else, domestic, it's all free shipping. It's included in the price. But for Canada, it's going to cost us $20 to $30 to ship you one PlayCrate, which is a huge percentage of, if you're buying a $45 PlayCrate and you're spending 30 of it on shipping, it's kind of tough. So we had to basically code in like a small shipping charge for anything international. So even if you pay up for 3 months up front in, February, the next month, your order is $0 because you already paid for it. But we still have to ship you something. So we shipped to Canada before and we were just getting absolutely crushed with shipping costs because it was free and we just couldn't do free shipping internationally. So we coded it in so you could get charged shipping, like a small shipping fee every month, even if you had $0 order. And that just took a long time to do because it was all custom. So for Soccer Crate, it was just we just need to do soccer internationally. It makes no sense that domestic is our only opportunity. And for soccer, it was a higher price point. So if you're paying $20 for shipping, it's a less of a percentage of a $75 box or a $65 box if you pay for a year up front. So Soccer Crate made more sense, and we rolled that out. It seemed to work. International customers loved it because they're like, we don't have anything like this. So we're gonna roll it out to PlayCrate. So PlayCrate will be international. You can buy anywhere in the world. Coming up pretty soon. And the only difference is you're gonna have to pay for shipping.
Yeah, there's got to be markets you got to be really excited about, right? Like I would think for baseball, Canada is actually pretty. There's a big contingent of Canadians that play during the summer a lot of baseball, and it's a huge thing.
Canada's number one for us for sure. We get a lot of requests from Canada, and I was
going to say
Australia is actually a big one.
Okay, I was going to say Australia, maybe Mexico and some of the South American countries, and then isn't Japan and these kind of places crazy baseball countries. Japan's
a massive baseball country. But, I think we've it's been more English speaking countries for us because all of our marketing's been in English. So maybe that's something we can do later on down the road. But for now, I think we'll go to Canada first. We'll see how it goes. We'll ship to Australia and if we can go into Japan, then that'd be fantastic. I think that'd be great. But I think that's further down the road.
Yeah, the Koreas, I think there's some amazing opportunities, especially with soccer. I think there's so many cool things you can do with soccer around whether it's Premier Leagues and World Cups, Euro Cups, so these different things. CONCACAF right now going on. I know Canada's doing really well in CONCACAF right now. I think they're in first place. So people are going nuts for soccer right now. That's exciting. So I guess my point was for collaborations, do you guys do any kind of I don't know, we'll talk maybe about paid ads. I don't know if you want to get into paid ads, but with since we last spoke, there's been some crazy algorithm changes, right? With the iOS updates and stuff. So I think like a lot of people are looking at different ways to grow their boxes, and some of them have been, I know a lot of people talking about collaborations and partnerships. Like I would assume it's probably hard to get in with something like the MLB, but what about with like where you played, right? Like, like up here, the closest major city is Winnipeg to me. There's something called the Northern League Baseball, right? So like the Winnipeg Gold-Eyes, for example, I would see that as an amazing opportunity. Like their fan base is great. It'd be probably easy enough to get partnerships with these types of leagues and clubs. Is that something you guys do?
We do a ton of partnerships, and cool. I have friends that played in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
They loved up there. But I mean, partnerships have been our bread and butter for so long because again, like we're bootstrapped. I don't spend. I mean, we spend very, very profitably through paid ads, or at least we try to. We try to have a media payback period over 2 months. So we're trying to spend on social media where we're profitable from our first charge. So basically,
hey, Josh, you know what? Pause for a second there. Do you want to just maybe for those who have never heard of that term, media payback period, what that means and why 2 months?
Yeah. So media payback period is basically, your CAC is your customer acquisition cost. So when are you profitable from your CAC, and how many months does it take to pay that back? So for a lot of companies, they base it on LTV. So if your customer, is on for, if you have a 10-month LTV, I don't know what the AOV would be for someone else, but and you have $100 box and your margin's 50%. So if you have a media payback period of 5 months, you're spending 5 times $50, $250. Before that $250 is paid back by your customer. So for us, we don't want a super long media payback period for a lot of different reasons. I want to get to profitability super quickly, and also it's a huge cash strain because you have to pay you're basically fronting 5 months of goods for your customer, and then eventually you'll start to make money on it. So it just delays your profitability, and it's a big capital strain because you have to put all that money up for ads for months and months and months, and then you can run into cash flow issues. So for us, all the 2 month media payback period is we're pretty much profitable from the second month somebody has a play crate, which is really, really great. But there's pros and cons. Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons because we have such a low CAC for what we're doing that we're profitable from month 2, but also limits our growth. Because if we could spend twice as much on ads, we could, in theory, grow twice as fast. So there's like a good balance. There's a good balance between it. A lot of people are like, let's grow extremely fast. Let's spend a lot more customer acquisition costs. We'll make our money in 6-7 months down the road because it'll still be profitable based on their churn and their LTV. But for me, being bootstrapped, like we just need a lot more access to capital to fund that. And I think it's just a lot more risk. So for us, we're kind of choosing like a middle path where we're profitable. We're going to grow really steadily and profitably. So we're not going to double every single year we're in business, but
it's a
slow, we're going to grow.
Yeah, it's a slow growth, right? And it's just because of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like not sexy. it's like we grow slow over here. But
the tortoise in the hair.
And like the reason behind it was there's a lot of other marketing opportunities. So you can get sucked into paid ads and just say, we'll just spend more. We'll spend more because it's going to be profitable. Spend more. But that really kind of limits your creativity. So if we're locked into like this really strict media payback period and like a pretty low customer acquisition cost on paid media, I have to find other avenues to go down. So we're doing like, again, weird TikTok videos, and we're growing virally through, different social media. We're getting more granular with our email marketing. We're doing a lot more partnerships. And if you're just relying on paid ads for your acquisition, you're always going to be relying on paid ads for your acquisition. So when you see an iOS 14 or iOS 15 update change and it just demolishes your reporting, then all of a sudden you're screwed. So we're just trying not to put all of our chips into one basket with paid media. It's a really important channel, and it can be a profitable channel for you. But if you're only growing through that and you're saying like, we'll just grow through paid, and you're just kind of like cutting off your creativity for other things. So, we're trying to, how can we get more referrals from customers? So that's something that costs us nothing but time and energy to put out these different campaigns. How can, again, like emails, how do we get more emails through partnerships? How do we do trades for the box? So we had one company where, they put an insert in the box, 7,000 of our boxes one month, and we put 7,000 inserts in their boxes for 1 month.
Cool.
So we're doing a lot of trades like that are very low cost up front, but it's mutually beneficial. So yeah, you have to be creative so you can grow. And then paid media is still important, but now you can retarget those people. They're kind of in your funnel from a bunch of different customer acquisition sources than just paid media. So you're also diversifying again. So if iOS 14 hits you, you're not just absolutely demolished by it. You have other opportunities. So it might hit you in the short term, but in the long term, you're doing a lot more things to get awareness, to get traffic to your website than just paid media. But yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about paid, we can do that too.
Let's 14, maybe go into that. Like, what are you seeing with your ads right now? What are you guys kind of doing that's making it successful? And if you want to go back as far as iOS 14 and what happened there to what you guys are doing now, I'm fine with that too. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, iOS 14 was like obviously like a complete game changer because you lost, you lost attribution to a lot of customers because people opted out from you tracking them. So I mean, our CAC's 4x, which looked really bad in channel. So like our goal in Facebook was like a $40 CAC. Like after iOS, it was like $120. So
it was similar, actually, very much similar to us.
Yeah, so you would panic. You'd be like, oh, like I can't spend on Facebook. So everyone just like stopped spending on Facebook. It crushed their acquisition because everyone's still relying on paid. But what I did was I didn't stop spending at all. I was like, oh, I guess 120 is the new normal, because what I looked at was blended CAC. So I looked at what was the total amount of dollars we spent on marketing divided by the total amount of customers we got. Our CAC was exactly the same as it was before iOS 14. So you just lost reporting. You didn't really lose acquisition. So you just lost clarity into like how much you're spending for a customer and like how many people saw that ad and went to your website. But at the end of the day, we spent the same amount and we got the same amount of customers. So I just switched it for like being profitable or having like a channel specific CAC to a blended. So we just took total marketing spend divided by total customers for that month. And our blended CAC was literally the same as every single month before. So, but it took a couple of months to get there because right when iOS 14 happened, like everyone, I kind of panicked. And I was like, this is like so different. This is like such a high CAC. We have to like stop spending. And so I reduced spend a little bit and it just depleted our acquisition. And then after a few months, I noticed our blended CAC is the same. It's actually lower than it was before iOS 14 because we're not spending as much. But we're not getting as many new customers. So we started spending more on Facebook and $120 was just kind of the new normal for us. So it's different per channel too. Like I think TikTok is different. Like you have to really know what your channel is and then kind of like there's just a new normal with iOS 14 and there's gonna be a new normal with iOS 15 with email. But again, it's like our spend and the amount of customers ended up being the same. So we're just going to keep spending the way that we always have. And we're just going to focus on our blended number instead of our channel specific numbers now.
Love it. What kind of stuff are you guys putting out there? So maybe start with like Facebook ads, for example. You guys doing mostly videos, images? What's the like, hot thing?
Just white label. That's pretty much it. Like that is just like crushing for us.
Do you want to just maybe just explain that a little further for those who
so white label is when we can basically plug into like an influencer's account. So you'll see a sponsored ad from their account about PlateCrate. So it's not sponsored. It's not like our channel that's being advertised. It's their channel that's being advertised, but they're doing an advertisement for PlateCrate. So you're tapping into their audience and you're paying to see their audience. And then Facebook can pretty much match their audience and find similar people. So
you want to give it? Is there an example you have an example of that?
Yeah, like Eric, if you had like 10,000 followers of, baseball parents, I would basically run ads to your account. So it would say, it would be your Facebook page. It would say Eric on there, but you would be doing an unboxing of PlateCrate. So Gotcha. It's clearly, it says sponsored. So it's clearly sponsored by PlateCrate.
Yeah.
But then it's also like the social proof aspect of it, where it's a real parent that's on opening a box, giving a real review. It's a kid that's not opening a box, a coach that's opening a box. And for us, there's just no substitute for social proof. Like the biggest friction point for us is getting people to trust that they're going to get a great value with PlateCrate. And the best way to prove that out is to just show people on video other people getting a great value and explaining it. And we have a mystery box, so just showing the products and examples of what you'll receive also kind of gets over that friction point. But yeah, white labels are just like a great way to just show social proof. People, number one, are actually buying your product. They're seeing what's in it. They're getting a video testimonial, because obviously like you're only gonna put out an ad that makes you look good. And you're also tapping into other people's audiences. So that's if you're not, we're like tripling down on white label strategy. We're reaching out to affiliates and influencers and just negotiating whatever we can to do more white label ads. So chances are, if you've been to our website or like our Instagram page, you've probably seen like a mom or a coach unboxing a play crate with like 24 hours after you came to our page. And that's just been really, really powerful for us. Honestly, like top of funnel and lower funnel. Top of funnel, we have like really, really beautiful, like a high production ad we did, which I absolutely love. I'm super proud of it. It got nominated for an Addy. So it wasn't me, the agency made it.
Oh, right on.
But it got nominated for this like award, which I think is so cool. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't write it. I didn't shoot it. I didn't do anything for it. But we'll use that for kind of top of funnel, pique somebody's interest. I think the high production gave us a little bit of credibility, even though that's been pretty difficult to measure. But we obviously put a lot of time and attention to it, and we put some money towards it, so it looks really professional. And then as you start to get lower funnel, we're just like, here's everyone that buys our products. Here's a ton of reviews. Here's a ton of testimonials. Here's what the box looks like. And then here's a deal. And then hopefully that whole funnel kind of converts them to our site and gets them buying.
Right on. I want you to talk about, because you do TikTok ads, right?
Yeah, we just started doing TikTok ads.
So I'm going to keep that part for just the supporters. So if you're a local supporter, we're going to be kind of, once I'm done talking with Josh, we're going to kind of end it there. And then we're going to kind of do like a post show wrap up where we're going to talk about TikTok ads. So for those of you guys who are supporters, you'll have access to that on Locals. And for those of you guys who are not, it's never too late. Just hop on to the subscriptionboxshow.locals.com and become a supporter today. You can also just create a membership for free there, where you get a ton of other exclusive items and stuff from the show as well. But if you want these exclusive little nuggets from some of our amazing esteemed guests like Josh here, then you can start as low as $5 a month. It's not like you have a ton, and you can give as much as you want as well. So thanks in advance for that. If the show has been a blessing to you in any way, to you or your business, then we appreciate the support in advance. So it's been a great stuff. Okay, well, Josh, do you have anything else you want to talk about when it comes to acquisition strategies you guys are looking forward to maybe in 2022 here? We've talked about partnerships and collaborations. I think we're doing a ton of that too. And whatever you're listening, or wherever you're listening, like, you think of Josh and he's got all these incredible ideas for baseball, but whatever niche you're in, it's the same thing for you. There's going to be some partnerships available to you there as well, whether it's other boxes or other Facebook groups, influencers, those kind of things. What else are you guys looking to do here in 2022 here?
Honestly, emails. Like I went back and did like a deep dive in January. I looked at 2021, where we succeeded, where we were missing out, and I mean, email just does great for us. So we convert about 6% of people who open our emails convert into customers. So I'm like, that's great. Let's just get way more emails. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really have to like rethink the wheel. It's like if you have a channel that's converting exceptionally, double down on that channel. So that was kind of, I was looking at Google Analytics, and I saw that, our email was just doing really well. And obviously, like, that's a very warm group of people. They subscribe to your email list willingly. They want the deals. They're probably going to sign up. So it's obviously, you're not talking to a cold lead. But so we're looking to really explode our email list. So I've been looking to do a lot of different trades with other people who have the same, emails as us, other people who have access to youth sports, baseball. So we're talking to, software companies. We're talking to tournament programs. We're talking to batting cages, and just seeing how Play Crate, number one, can bring value to them. Because like, I'm not just looking for a handout. That's number one, and number two is what's a good paid strategy for that. So sometimes the only thing that talks is you writing a check, which is fine. And for a lot of bootstrap companies like us, it's really difficult to kind of make all these tests and just end up writing a check. You're like, let's get creative, let's do a trade, let's do this, I'll give you product for this. And at the end of the day, people are like, just write me a check. So we're trying to figure out what our return is on that. So we're running some small tests and just trying to network with other companies who have similar emails and build both of our email lists. And do giveaways together, do sweepstakes together, give away product from ours, from PlayCrate to their batting cage or something, and just figure out how PlayCrate can strategically position ourselves to help whatever their goals are, whether they're a software company, a tournament company, or a batting cage. And again, like you were saying, this is very niche specific. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to read about how to market for baseball, but if you really think about it, like our goal was to build our email list. And then I'm like, who else has the emails that we need? And then what value can we bring to them? And that was pretty much it. I think that works in any niche, any industry. And then the cool part about that is there's really not a lot of competition of people doing that, especially when you're niche down. So I don't think like a ton of people are going to be calling a random batting cage in Missouri looking to give them a small check plus like a free box for their subscriber of the month. You know what I mean? So I mean, we're just really trying to get creative with that and do some like small unscalable things, see if they work, and then from there we'll decide whether we should put significant spend towards it, or if there's some way that we could get creative and do a trade. But yeah, we're looking for just different options other than just Facebook, Google, TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah, I think so too, because the emails you own, right? That's something you have that doesn't matter what the algorithm changes, is you have that email. I think is there something kind of like not moral, but is there a legal aspect you have to be careful if you're reaching out for email lists that way?
I'm never, ever, ever going to pay someone for emails ever, for like a bunch of different reasons. Number one, it's illegal. You can't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Like the GDPR stuff. So that's not like the access to the email list is basically like, can we do a giveaway together? Can you run a giveaway for PlayCrate and say to enter the giveaway to win this year of PlayCrate at my batting cage?
Yes.
Plus like we'll pay for like a month of cage time or something. Enter your email. By entering your email, you're going to be receiving emails from PlayCrate. So it's all 100% compliant.
Got it. Okay.
And like the other reason too is like I don't want crappy emails. So it's like I don't want 1,000 emails because number one, I have to pay for them, and number two, I'm just not going to get a good response. I would rather get like 50 just like great emails of people who really want to hear from us. And convert 10 of them. So I don't want a ton of emails like arbitrarily. I want really, really, really good emails.
Solid leads.
Yeah. So I would, and everything like you can't buy lists. Like don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a waste of money. It's like an invasion of privacy. And there's just like much better ways to do it and be candid and being like forthcoming with people. It's just always a better strategy.
Yeah, I think so too. And it'd be like, it just seems wrong. And I know I get emails. You must get emails all the time. Like we have access to all these emails and they're trying to, sell them to me. And I've always just delete, like I won't even respond. It just goes straight to the trash because I think it's just, I don't know, like, I don't know if karma's a thing or whatever, but it just seems like, that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Like, it's just, I don't like it.
It's just spam. Like you're not going to
greasy.
Good they didn't agree to that. Like I'm just asking for access to be in front of people and say, if you want to hear more about PlayCrate, here's where, you can enter a giveaway and get emails from them and, get $15 off your first crate. So again, it's how can we give value to these other people? And like that giveaway could be, a free month membership to that batting cage that PlayCrate's going to pay for. So that's like kind of like, how do we make it a win, or like a great win for a batting cage owner, a great win for someone who enters the giveaway, and a great win for PlayCrate? And
love that,
just
man.
finding something that
so creative,
that helps everybody.
What kind of giveaway works when it comes to you guys? If you're partnering, do you give like is the free box enough to get that email? Is it like a 3-month prepaid subscription? What are you finding? Or is it just like you said, $15 off the first crate? Like what's kind of like getting people to for the exchange, right? That's the value, right? There's a trade-off here.
Yeah. So like the $15 off is just kind of like, we know that we do that coupon code for everybody just because it works for us. So that goes to everybody. So that's kind of like hey, you like enter this giveaway for this cool prize, but also here's like a cool code if you want to enter now. So, for us, we'll do like 3 months or a year of PlayCrate always, just because it's bigger. And honestly, it's like we're amortizing the cost of the the giveaway over the course of like a year, right? Like we're not paying $500 up front. We're paying like 45 we're paying much less because we're paying costs, but we're paying it every month. So it's not really like, it's almost like not really a big expense at all out of pocket, because you pay for it over the course of the year. You basically finance the prize by yourself. But no, with giveaways, we want people to share the giveaway. Like, I think that's the absolute most important metric. Like, I don't really care that much about, like, obviously, like, I care about likes and comments and engagement. That's really important. But I want something that's so cool that people are going to tell their friend about it, that they're going to say, hey, enter this giveaway. It's so cool. And that's how you really kind of get, a viral aspect to it. I mean, I've already mentioned this like a bunch of times today, I think, but I always talk about, we every month we do a remarkable giveaway, and it's something that's so cool people are going to remark on it to their friends. And that's like straight out of Seth Godin Purple Cow book that I read like forever ago. He's like, if you saw a purple cow on the side of the road, you would probably remark on it to somebody. And he's like, you want purple cows in your business. And that was the whole concept of that book. So we've done like painted bats with designers. We've done painted cleats with designers. We're going to be giving away like a batting cage soon, just because, like, if you're like 12, you're like, I want to put a batting cage in that was like my dream when I was 12.
For sure.
My parents were like, you're not doing that. So we just want something that's going to stand out, and, whether it's good or bad, I want people to just remember it, remark on it, engage with it, do something. And that's pretty much it. Like, if we just give away one plate crate, it's kind of boring. You don't really know what's in it.
Right. So that
once we give away three
so it works better to have some kind of cool. I love that. Yeah, that's such a great idea. So think about that yourselves, guys. We know wherever you're listening, like your own niche, like what would be a cool thing. And I've actually never really considered doing it. Like we've done a lot of partnerships, but having like that purple cow, and I know the concept, I know that book. I've never really thought about having something. So my own little mouse is starting to turn to my brain now to see what we can come up with our own stuff. And I think it's easier if, like, no, it's not. I shouldn't say that's just a cop out. I was going to say it's easier if you have like something, but I mean, any niche has that possibility there. I think it's not just because it's baseball you can make it cool. Because when you think of baseball, I would think there's a baseball glove and a bat, and but there's more to it than that, right? Like, so you guys are finding creative ways to make it really fun and engaging and maybe viral, right? Because you want that viral kind of aspect. Do you guys do anything with referrals when it comes to like a referral app, or do you guys just kind of do these organic things?
Yeah, we do. So we have like we have an affiliate program, and we use Refersion for that. So, we'll use that with the influencers, and, if anyone uses their discount code or uses their link, they get a commission kickback on that. And then we also use Smile, which is probably the most popular loyalty app or loyalty program on Shopify for e-com stores. So we have something called the RBI Club, where you can earn runs, and then you can spend your runs on the store like a gift card. So you get a lot of runs for referring a friend. So you can get, it pretty much comes out to $20 off for each. So we have, which is basically just like take your acquisition cost and cut it in half and give it to your customers. You know what I mean? Instead of Facebook. Yeah. So that was one thing I learned. Like, we used to do like, get like $5 off your next plate crate and give your friend $15 off. And I was like, why are we like not rewarding our current customers like more than everybody else? So like, why would I pay Facebook 40 or 50 or $60 to acquire a customer, but not my like customer base, right? Who's like a better like the referral channel, the only referral channel. So most people, I think, just need to up their incentives for their referral programs and just pay their customers more to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we use Smile. It's really, really easy. Plugs right into Shopify.
Easy setup,
cool widget.
Yeah,
super easy. Yeah, plug and play. You can set it up in 10 minutes. And like have it completely branded. You should have them sponsor your podcast.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to Smile. We're gonna reach out to you if you're listening.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I don't know if you got anything else you want to kind of touch on. Otherwise, maybe we'll go to the second part there for the locals community. Have you heard of locals, by the way?
No, I haven't. No, what's that?
Okay. Well, yeah. So it's like if you go to locals.com, you can find like influencers there, or whatever. There's like some of the shows I like to listen to, that's where the hosts kind of hang out, and you can pay to be a supporter. I guess it's similar to Patreon. I guess it's like Patreon's counter. I'm sure you've heard of Patreon. It's just I think I don't know what the difference is more than that. I just kind of ran into locals maybe a few months ago from one of the shows I love to listen to, and he's got a cool thing there. He does like, you can have exclusive, you can have stuff for everyone that just wants to sign up to locals, and you can have stuff just for people who pay. So like maybe exclusive content like we're going to do, maybe live recordings, whatever. You can set up whatever you want. Every time you go to post something, you can put if it's for who it's for, if it's for everyone, or if it's just for the supporters.
Yeah.
And it also helps the show, right? It helps to pay the bills, and we were hoping to get some cameras and better lighting. And I'd love to one day be able to just like fly people in to do the interviews instead, like some of the favorite shows you hear, like whether it's Joe Rogan or, the Pints with Aquinas kind of shows, like, really cool lighting, really cool studio, live in-person interviews. I think you get a lot more if like you were sitting in this same room with us and we're having a whiskey and, whatever, chatting about subscriptions rather than over Zoom, right?
That sounds great. I would love to have a whiskey and talk subscription box. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, right. So I think that's kind of like or if it's a beer, whatever your thing is, we'll have a pint of, whatever Boston's finest here. So
yeah, we'll have Sam Adams.
Sam Adams, that's the go-to. We have Sam Adams up here. I love Sam Adams actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to like a local like dive bar, I think every person is drinking Sam Adams, and they have a Bruins jersey on and a Boston Red Sox hat on. So
yeah, there you go.
You really can't escape it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually have a buddy here. He's in Winnipeg. He's like this guy who's obsessed with everything Boston. So he's a Patriots fan. He's a Bruins fan, but he's more like Patriots and Red Sox. He's just a general hockey fan, but he even has his own tap system for beers, and it's only Sam Adams. I'm not even kidding. So when I go to Matthew's house, it's Sam Adams on tap, and we're probably watching some kind of like Patriots highlights reel of some sort. So,
that sounds like everybody I've ever grown up with around here.
Yeah, that's funny. That's
they take it seriously, and they do like you. They love their hockey. So we got out on the pond a couple of weeks ago. I never played hockey, so I look like a baby deer on skates, but I'll go as hard as I can.
Right on. Hey, who's the most popular sports athlete now that Brady's gone? Like, who's the most popular? Is it a baseball guy? Is it like Bergeron or one of those kind of hockey guys?
Yeah, I guess Bergeron. You know what? I don't even know.
What's your quarterback? Because he's becoming a quick star for the Patriots. I just saw him. My son was watching the Pro Bowl, and I saw him do some kind of.
He's a young guy. Honestly, I don't
forget his name.
I'm like such a bandwagon fan. Like I'll follow the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But and I'll tell everyone this too. They think I'm crazy for saying it, but I won't even watch a Patriots game until they're in the playoffs. Like,
there you go.
I'm like the biggest bandwagon fan. I don't love going to Gillette because it's absolutely freezing. I'm like, if I'm gonna, I feel like football around here is just, for me, is more of just it's more about like hanging out with family and eating as many nachos as they can. And then when Brady left, everyone thought he was going to be like ostracized, and I think people just had like a deeper love for him when he left. They're like, yeah, screw Boston. They just like never lost their love for Brady. But,
for the greatest, the GOAT. Yeah. Who's the biggest baseball star in Boston? Because you guys are a baseball town, probably first and foremost. Like with Fenway, I can't imagine going to Fenway in the summer. It must just be are you still living close to there? Remember last time we talked, I think you were like living like a stone's throw from there.
Yeah, actually, I think last time we spoke, I was living in Boston proper, so I was like maybe like a 20-minute walk from Fenway.
Oh,
so
cool.
If I wanted to go to a game, I'd walk there. It was
that's awesome.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Boston's got like a cool young team. I don't know, like there's a bunch of guys. I like. Chris, who's your favorite person on Red Sox right now? It's tough because there's like Dahlbach, who I really like. Devers is like super young and he's going to be like an absolute stud. But yeah, there's like a massive turnover in the last 2-3 years with Boston. There's really no like massive name, but there's like a ton of like awesome like young guys that are going to be super fun to watch. That I think I watched a couple of them play in college, and now it's cool to see them in the big leagues. But I don't know. It's a bunch of young guys, which I think is really cool.
Similar up here. Like everyone likes the Blue Jays, basically, right? Other than like you got these really fringe guys, like my buddy Matt, who loves like the Red Sox. But like most people, just because it's like baseball's kind of like your third, fourth favorite sport. It's like, well, the Blue Jays, that's like the team we have to cheer for because it's Canada's team, and they got a young team too. Actually, like they're doing some pretty cool things. I don't know if you kind of see what's going on with Guerrero Jr. and stuff.
I actually like, you would think that owning a baseball company, I would follow so much baseball. It just gets like, I see it every day. So
Yeah.
I'm like constantly overloaded, but like the Blue Jays, I absolutely love because I love Bo Bichette. I love Junior. I love Biggio, like, cause
Yeah.
I watched
His
all their
dad.
dads
Yeah,
growing
that's
up.
right. Yeah.
And cause Bo Bichette's dad was in the big leagues. Dante Bichette, obviously Vlad Guerrero, was a big name, that I watched growing up and
Well,
like
he was my
idolized
favorite
him.
player
And
because
then,
he was an Expo, and I was a Montreal Expos fan growing up. So Vladdy,
yeah,
no
yeah.
gloves on, he was just such a man. He could hit the ball no matter where it came in. It could be almost above his head, and he'd crush a homer with it. Like he was
He
the
was just
best.
like the most raw baseball player,
Yeah, and
like
that's
of
why I
all
love
time.
old school, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, he could have played like in the 50s, the
Yeah,
60s, or the 2000s. It didn't matter. Like he was
that's
gonna
right.
hit a baseball hard.
Yeah.
And then Bo Bichette, I met when he was like 16 because I went to college in Florida in the same town he grew up.
No
So
kidding.
he would come on our field and like hit with us,
Was he good?
and he was just like he's a first round draft pick. He's a
Yeah.
stud.
Yeah.
So I always had a rooting interest in Bo because I
Cool.
followed him in high school. I watched him get drafted. I followed his minor league career. And
Interesting.
now I'm just like, he's like so big time now. It's like, I'm not friends with him. And I met him a couple times, but I always had a rooting interest for him. I thought he was just like, he was so good. And just getting to meet him, you just kind of want to cheer for people that you've met. So
These
I love the
partners,
Blue Jays.
is that something where like if you have like a relationship with a guy like that, it'd be maybe not out of the realm to like reach out to some of these players individually? Have you ever done that with the company and just to be like, hey man, like you want to, I'll send you a box if you want to just unbox it. And like that could be, I know some guys have done it up here with hockey players, and if they're dog lovers, they'll send them a dog box, and all of a sudden like the whole province is buying his dog box because the captain of the Montreal Canadiens unboxed it or whatever, right? Like,
yeah. So like we've tried like a bunch of times with a bunch of different players. The like unique problem with baseball is that baseball is like the highest paid sport by far. Yeah. So like the minimum, like if you think about like salaries too, there's people in the MLB getting paid. JD Martinez like $25 million a year. It's just like, we're talking about like our subscription box companies, and it's just like, it's incomprehensible how much money these guys make when they play baseball. Like more than football, more than basketball, more than any other sport. Baseball just has the contracts. Yeah. Like Mike Trout signed a $500 million contract to hit a baseball.
It's crazy.
Which like, I don't know if that's good or bad for the world, but it's just kind of like capitalism, I guess. So I've reached out to a bunch of people, and they're like, dude, like if I make you, if I get you 2,500 subscribers and you're paying me, $20 bucks, he's like, that's not even a drop in the bucket. So it's just like not worth their time. So a lot of the people I've talked to, they're like, oh, like my cousin, I'm just going to do this for my cousin, and my cousin will take the money, or I'll do this. But so I was like, what's really going to get people motivated? What do we have that no one else has in their space? And so sometimes it's charity. So I was like, we have awareness. So I was like, we can work with your charity and just donate all of the proceeds to your charity. And that's more,
smart.
Something that is going to, affect them a little bit more. But it's like, they just make too much money. It's like very specific to our baseball niche, but you kind of have to get people at the right time. Like Bo Bichette is a perfect example because I watched him single A, double A, triple A.
Yeah.
Like, we should get Bo Bichette now because he's going to be a stud. And now he's now he's an all-star.
Yeah.
So we kind of missed the boat on that. But yeah, like getting an MLB guy, I had a talk on Friday with an agent about doing a contract, and just to make it worthwhile was like way too expensive. They wanted equity in the company. Plus they wanted,
oh my goodness. What?
They wanted a percentage of anything like above like what we thought we would grow this year. So they wanted like a percentage of our like gross revenue. I was like, that no way.
Jeez, are you serious? Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
It's just like they wanted just like such a big piece of the pie where I didn't think it would be worth it.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah. So I didn't even really talk to him about it. But I mean, having a big leaguer come in as like an equity partner eventually could be something cool, but that wouldn't be me paying them. That would be them paying me. And I'm not even close to that point. I still don't think it's a good idea, but that's actually, there's a company called Marucci. Are you familiar with Marucci Sports?
No. So
Marucci Sports is like a massive bat and glove company. They started in like 2008. They sold last year for $200 million to a PE firm, which isn't like this like sexy, like big SaaS company that's like, raises all this like VC money. But like really, really great company. They grew crazy fast. And the way they did it was like absolutely genius. So their equity partners weren't VC firms; they were baseball players. So David Ortiz was their VC, Albert Pujols was their VC, Curt Schilling,
Love it.
Rizzo. So they, instead of them paying endorsement deals to these athletes, the athletes were paying them for equity stake in a company that they had vested interest in that they could grow. So there was one year where you saw Albert Pujols, David Ortiz, like the biggest names in baseball, all swung Marucci. And it just exploded their company, which, you know, was an incredible return on investment for these athletes. And basically like this investment that they had like a ton of upside in that they had control over. So I thought that was just like so genius.
Oh yeah. Love it.
So they were the biggest marketers of the company, and they were also the biggest equity holders. So,
yeah. You know what? I wonder if something like you would just send a box to like a Bo Bichette and just be like, hey man, big fan. Just appreciate everything you're doing. This, you know, just figure out like without no like contract, no ask, even don't even ask him to unbox it, right? And I think that's how they're the first box that my his name is Aniora. He's from Quebec, and he did that with one of the Canadian players. He just, you know, he'd go and scour the internet, who's got dogs and who seems to be a really big dog guy. And what's cool with hockey, you get like these third, fourth line guys that have no ego, and they don't make as much as the first two lines, but they're just usually good dudes. So you kind of find those guys and you just send them a box and be like, hey man, big fan. I'm the founder of, so-and-so, and just figured you'd love this for your dog, whatever. Cheers. And then you just leave it in their hands, and they're just probably going to just take the box and do it themselves. Right. They're like, this is cool. Thanks. And then that's what happened. They just did it themselves, and kind of like, that's, I think I don't know if you'd ever thought of doing something like that might work with, like, you kind of scour for good dudes that are like, just like blue collar boys that would probably do that for you, kind of thing. I don't know if that's the thing in baseball.
We've done that a couple times. It's honestly, it's zero risk, because like if they don't post, there's no expectation around it. So who cares? Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're just building kind of like good faith anyway. So we've done it a few times. Like honestly, maybe there's no real excuse that we shouldn't be doing it more. So I appreciate the push. I think I'll talk to our marketing team today. I'll be like, go send out 20 boxes to people that we really love.
Yeah, exactly. And that you're generally a fan of, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've looked for like athletes that have kids that are like, 8 to 10 years old, or 8 to 14. Most of the major leaguers are younger, so they don't really have kids that old. But like Evan Longoria, if you remember Evan Longoria, like he unboxed a play crate for us, posted about it because he had a son. His son like loved it.
And a very famous, really, isn't his wife a famous actress too? Was that him?
Yeah. Who is that? That is he.
No, I'm thinking of someone else. No, sorry, I'm thinking of. No, that's not true. I'm thinking of Longoria. She was an actress that she married the basketball. Eva.
You're thinking of Eva Longoria, but Evan Longoria, I think, married someone famous too.
Oh, okay.
I can reference check that. But
cool.
I mean, he was like a huge name in baseball. Like one of the best baseball players, like probably top 3 hitters.
Tampa Bay, no.
Yeah, in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
He was such a good player. But yeah, I think he married someone famous too. Not that it matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, he opened a box and it was great. But I mean, like the one time
it's short term, right?
Great.
It's probably short term.
Yeah, short term. Like maybe we got like 5 or 6 sales from it. So it was a cool return, and just having him unbox it is really fun.
Sure.
You can repurpose that into like we do like a lot of UGC ads. So all these like white labels that we do, this is something that's really helped us too. Our videographer, Jesse, he'll just take every piece of new UGC, because kids do unboxings every month and they put them on YouTube. So every month we're just like reformulating different user generated content videos. And basically what I tell Jesse to do, and what Jesse does really well, is we're basically explaining what Play Crate is, what the value prop is, and and then putting some like great sound bites in the end. And then we're putting how many 5-star reviews we have, and then a call to action. That's like our template for UGC videos. So without us saying anything, it's all of our customers and affiliates and fans are explaining what Play Crate is, why you should buy it, showing you all the stuff in the box. And then we're backing it up with like reviews and a call to action. And we just like constantly just add new sound bites in there and new videos, new everything. So yeah, I mean, putting in like an Evan Longoria or some big league players into that mix could be super powerful. So then we use those
street cred,
ads.
Yeah, major street cred. You know what? We've covered a lot of ground. I think there's been a lot of that's why I like the long form conversation. You just kind of get into different areas, and you just kind of good. That's where the gold kind of gets sometimes produced. So I hope everyone kind of enjoyed was enjoying the new format. We're starting in 2022 with this long form, and with the video, you get to see Josh's pretty face here and wicked studio background, loft style warehouse. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna end it for now. Thanks for everyone for listening, and for those of you who are Locals supporters, you'll get to hear the post-show wrap-up with the TikTok stuff from Josh Band. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, it's very rare that you get to nerd out on subscription boxes. So no one usually wants to talk to me about this stuff.
That's right. No talking shop at the local pub with the what? You don't want to talk about subscriptions? Come on, man. Okay, cool. So thanks for doing this, and we'll head over to post show wrap-up. Cheers.